Hi, I am your host, Henry Clavo, CEO and founder of Orlando Insight Group. Each episode, we dive into real conversations with technology leaders, innovators, and experts who are shaping the future of IT, data, and cybersecurity, and thought leaders. Our goal is simple to give you practical insights, real world strategies, and expert perspective that you can use to drive smart decisions and stronger results in your business. Thank you for joining us tonight. Today's guest is Natalia Kotova, project director at ThinkLinkers and a driving force behind some of Europe's most recognized data management events. With over a decade of experience delivering 30 plus international data conferences and initiatives, Natalia has united thousands of data professionals across the global community. With a strong foundation in business, marketing, and finance, she blends strategic thinking with exceptional communication, sales, and project management expertise. Beyond the stage, she has cultivated a driving network of more than 30,000 data professionals, building one of the most engaged data communities in Europe. Curious, driven, and deeply organized, Natalia thrives in a multicultural environment and is constantly learning, connecting, and elevating the data ecosystem. Her mission is simple but powerful: connect people, data, and technology in ways that create real impact. Well, Natalia, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. So, how are you today, Henry?
Oh, it's very early. I know you're in the Czech Republic. Is that correct?
Yes, so it's around like actually the lunchtime, 12.
Oh, okay, so it's lunchtime. So yeah, here early mornings, but I'm used to it here in Seattle. So all
hmm
good. Let's get started. I guess you've delivered 50 plus international data events over the last decades. What separates a good data conference from one that truly shifts industry thinking?
hmm Okay, that's very straightforward. It's I don't know if I can actually respond very
Okay.
direct about that, but it takes a lot of effort, and I honestly think that when you build something over the years, not something super quick. It's obviously getting a lot of attention and then effort and into it, and we have done it for the last 10 years, obviously, in order to kind of been seen as one of the most leading like data conferences globally. You need time. It's not,
Mm,
not it's very easy, to be honest. It's not like that we were super popular in the first time when we have started our business. So it took really a lot of energy from our side and connections over the years and the referrals from our clients. So
mm,
we just probably trusted us from the very beginning. And actually, I would say this is something that I really appreciate from the people that at the first two editions at the Think Lab, at our in-person event in Berlin, that time that we hosted. Now it's in Prague. So they believed in us, and that's really amazing. So we believed in us and we believe in them now. So we continue.
Uh,
Yeah.
who started ThinkLinkers, and how were you able to get involved in such an organization, and especially data management?
hmm Yeah, good question. Actually, the I worked together with Pio Marola,
Hmm.
who's the founder of ThinkLinkers. I worked with him before in a different company, and so he saw the potential in exactly that industry of data. He knew it that at least he didn't know, but he predicted that the data will be something super important, and eventually human beings will realize that the human interaction will be even more important now, like nowadays than ever. As a
Hmm.
matter of fact, what happened in life, with COVID and everything. So people even are more, like happy to come back to human interaction and everything. So there are periods and everything. So I just feel like that he was the one who noticed that. He didn't want to do anything except the data conferences, and which is actually also kind of distinguished our the think linkers, that we didn't do like thousands of different conferences on the different topics that are popular and so on. And when he decided to do something and open a new organization, since he worked with me, and it was a great but at that time he was my manager, so he wanted to already build a team, and it would be great, of course, to bring me in the team. And I was from the first days of I think Linkers with him in this journey. So now it's over 10 years, but we've been working even more together, but at least at think Linkers it's 10 years.
Mhm.
Yes, this is something actually how it's all started, and go ahead.
Yeah, so it's more than 10 years. How has the industry changed in data management now that before we had data management, we had to master data management, you had to go to classes. But now, November 2022, we have the introduction of ChatGPT and AI. How has that changed? Rapid expansion during that time.
Mm, interesting. Um, we have different things that happen in our data management space, and if you think about it, 10 years is not that much, but at the same time it's a lot.
Mm,
Probably also from a personal perspective, I can tell that I divide the life now even not in 10 years rather than 5 years, sometimes even 3 years, because just life goes very fast. And the same thing that I think about the data is way too fast. It's changing every day, and again, after the COVID times, fortunately, unfortunately, it's how the world, like completely changed, and we needed to all work online, right? And that the
mm,
data became way too much, so you needed to do everything super fast to analyze all of it. So I have to say that from the beginning, how I started, that the MDM was a core topic of the data management space, and that's how our Think Lab was called, MDM Think Lab. So it's like a foundational, right, as a topic. And then it became, after a couple of years, no longer sexy, as the data managers like to say. So we said, oh, we need to get into and look into the supply chain, data analytics, master data management is way, like outdated.
academic, yeah.
Exactly. So it's interestingly how afterwards it's just flipped completely the coin, right? And we are back to the MDM and data quality with all this AI and everything. So it's again back to be sexy after many years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I honestly think it's exactly how with most of the topics in the data management space is that something just existed before when we renamed it, and then they made it like super important, like data mesh and so on. So that's pretty much my opinion on it, that sometimes the things that are very important even originally are always important, but you try to also show that the data is changing in a different ways. Obviously with an AI, we need to look into foundation, so that is why it just happened that we look into these things again. And coming back to also your question, the second part about the chat gpt. So in general, automation, I have to say that the life is changing. The people are need to change as well. That's something that I think kind of the problematic, the issue in here is exactly that people don't want to change. We don't
Mm,
want to adapt, and we only now realizing how where the world is changing in general, not just work wise, but in like life in general. So
mm.
with automation, it's I think in a couple of years we will also see the different levels, not even in 10 years. It's just like every year something is happening and changing a lot.
I agree. And with this change, I read a research paper that has made professionals or people in industry more, not more, I wouldn't say productive, but more anxious and deliver more results than ever before.
Mm-mm.
So there's a disconnect between managers or non-technical people and people that they can just wave a magic wand and deliver. But yeah, that's what I noticed: more stress, more deliverables at a short deadline.
I think you're right, totally. And I feel like when people are stressing out, and because we stress out, we feel like that the time flies even faster,
Mm.
because that's how it is. It's just because time is relevant, right? So, how is it like for everybody? If you cool down and you are, you know where you're going, in what direction, then everything just goes also like slightly slower. But then people are frustrated that the time goes fast, so we are getting stressed, and then the things just don't go away how you want it.
Yeah, it's a mindset. I agree. But going back to ThinkLinkers, when you create speakers, what do you look for beyond technical expertise? I'm sure you had speakers with good presentation skills and some that didn't hit the mark but got the point across.
Mm-hmm. So like, how do I choose them in a way? Like, what kind of a?
Or yeah, what do you look for
Mhm.
when preparing an event as special as ThinkLinkers, the data management?
Yeah, you're totally right. Like the speakers and the people typically shape our conferences, events, trainings. You call them, right? So obviously, the content is one of the most important points, but at the same time, the networking as well. So the
Mm,
people that are coming, we should be open-minded. We shouldn't be arrogant. And I think because the content that the participants choose, we look at the speakers should be researched well. So that is why I like and I prefer the way that they have kind of a business model where the participants need to first participate as an attendee and then already like understand the vibe and format of of a conference, so we can prepare much better for the next time we present. And I can tell you, based on my experience and in the past, then people really, really like told me that they can do a good job, and no matter like if we've never been even at the event, they are like 90% still failed in the delivering the content. And it's not just because it's not because we are like are not experienced enough or something. It's just the way how you have to feel, because then you when you know what to expect as well, you can prepare much better. So people that actually followed my instruction and way how we do it, we really delivered the best, and they were in the top three speakers usually. And honestly, nowadays, because we have quite a lot of people that would like to anyway speak at our events, I'm happy to choose also between the people. And this is something also important, so we do not honestly allow everybody to come to kind of these kind of events. What I'm trying to say, everybody is welcome, but of course, if I feel like that person comes to the conference because he's just an arrogant person who wants to show off, but he doesn't want to, or she doesn't want to learn more, so they're not like a constant learners, then the value of it is not going to be fully, delivered during the conference. So I really need the open-minded people that are data managers, and that's what I'm talking about. And people that come to us, they need to think out of box, not
mm.
just one way. So that's the same way how I apply to the speakers acquisition.
Oh, that's great. Actually, you have a way to operate in a way in a standard you expect from your attendees to respect your fellow people that really value their time and be able to learn from one another. So that's good.
Yeah.
And when you design these events, what ideals or what themes come to mind when you bring in these participants, and or is it a event that each individual contributes to the event that makes it special?
Mm, what makes it special, for sure, people. That's like I would say number one. The second, obviously, us, the team of ThinkLinkers, who put a lot of effort in it. And we are not a huge organization, so we are just maximum 10 people that are working at the ThinkLinkers. So you can probably imagine that we cooperate in the way of a family kind of a business,
Mm,
So we care, and then people care. I think people feel it, so that's why we care when we come, and they feel it, this energy. So sometimes when people ask me like, how can you help me out to create a business case in order to sell the value of this conference to my management, it's sometimes complicated to actually, like to put it into words, so you have to feel it when you are there, so
mm.
that is why I always say to them, look at the testimonials, what people say, that's going to help you more than rather me just speaking about it.
Got it, got it. Your mission is to connect people, data, and technology. Which of those three is hardest to align, and why?
Hmm. Well, especially nowadays, I think that the technology is just getting probably like not the best reviews, because obviously we are saying what's the typical problem is not the software that you buy, but it's about like the foundations that are not there. Um, what is complicated, to be honest, it's the language between the data managers and the management
Mhm.
and the senior managers, because it's something which is still like an over 10 years. It's typical topic that we're getting in our conferences, that the data people need to learn how to obviously use their soft skills in the best way, and it's a very complicated situations, because most of them are introverts and they need to have a little bit of a push, and what we do, and I think it's a bit of it's not wrong, but it's wouldn't hurt if we would also look into the soft skills more than just a new certification of what we've learned. You know what I mean?
Mm. Got it. Got it.
Mm.
Yeah, it's trying to align and make sure that the process makes sense and the people understand what they're presenting and what they can be agreed upon.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, because many years I heard like, and to be honest, I feel the same. I have the same situation. Then I'm talking to people, and I'm trying to explain what I'm doing, and the people are not into the data management or something. The
mm,
only thing they hear is like, ah, okay, you're in IT, and I have nothing to do with IT. so,
yeah,
so I know exactly how I feel. I know exactly how you all feel.
yeah, we talk past each other, but we don't complete our sentences or ideas. So we have certain ideas that we come with, and then we don't explore further.
Mhm.
I'm glad that you mentioned that. That's very interesting.
Mhm.
What does data maturity look like from the perspective of conversations you hear backstage at Think Lab? Like any interesting idea that they have about data maturity, or they just talk about their technologies, or
Hmm.
just business in general?
Good point. And good question, to be honest. Like, this is something I've learned over the years, that typically at the end of the day, even if we discuss the different software and everything, it absolutely can help you, but you just need to know where you're going, right? So the strategy is the most more important thing. If you don't have a strategy, right one,
Mm,
then you are just going to be doomed. So that's something that people need to look into this. You have to also align as a whole team, especially if you're not like working alone. Because there are certain things, and the companies where just one single person is handling the whole data management. So this is something important, as alignment between, a different department, different, people that are working in. And I know that most of the companies want to have a commercial kind of a output out of it, right? So that then it needs to deliver some results, and how the results you see. So obviously through the customer satisfaction, let's put it this way, if especially it's in the consumer goods or something.
mm,
So when you of course estimate like how data does like a good job or not, they see the results, right? So but sometimes even if you're working very hard and trying to deliver something, it's not delivers it on its own, because there is no alignment between the departments, right? What are you doing, and for what are you doing this,
mm.
and especially like coming back to that thing that about the people, just most of them think that you are just IT, and you're doing something else. Yes. So the language, I have to say, in culture is super important. And again, like the soft skills is something that you need to improve in order to deliver good. And some companies actually can be from the very beginning super data driven, and in a way kind of data mature already. So that's where the data manager has less problem, because the management is already understanding why is it for, and so it's easier, of course, and they invest into data management. And actually it's also, we can connect to the conferences. um, I have to do. I will do a great example to how to sell a conference. To be honest, if the management doesn't get what is it for, like how to improve your data management skills, you have to just say to them that you're going to learn a bit of how AI can help us, in the company, and management will buy it. Because why? Because it's the only thing we care about it right now. Because we want to invest into AI blindly, most of the companies, and we think this is a way how we can solve it. But nothing will be, obviously, I don't need to explain to anyone here. I think everybody understands that AI will not solve your problems. It can help. It will be a sort of an assistant, but if there are no foundations and an understanding, so obviously it will not help.
Got it. Got it. No, we're going to shift to your experience at ThinkLinkers and the changes that has happened. Let's say the last 5 years. You've built a 30K, 30,000 data community. When was the turning point where it became more than just social media for you, Natalia? When did it become real, in a sense?
uh, Good question. LinkedIn honestly is like my second home.
Mm,
Like literally, that's something I've realized it, and I feel like that we worked this LinkedIn even before we LinkedIn became like super popular. I have to say. So from the very beginning, we used it, we connected these people. I think even 10 years ago, and I know it most of the popularity. I think LinkedIn received like last 2 3 years. I have to say. So I think from the very beginning it was something to me, you know. I even used like Xing and everything, but then Xing is like a German LinkedIn.
mm,
Lost a complete popularity in the. I don't know. We changed something, and people didn't like. We left, and so we all came back to LinkedIn. You know.
mm,
Um, so I used to be absolutely everywhere in order to make sure that many people will find out about us. You know. So LinkedIn was a great tool for this, and then I realized that I can also, you know, speak up the moment that I felt like I am ready to say something useful to the data people. So why not to start something more than just a conference, you know? So deliver some content on a daily basis, you know. Also finding the right people for the posts and everything. So people really really liked it. I also mm, made it a bit more personal, I would say, for the last maybe 2 years.
mm.
So because obviously people don't want to follow only with your data work or just work, we also want to follow you as a person.
Yeah, I guess people don't know. We have talked before in the past, but you do have your own business that you started a couple of years ago, a salon, I believe. People don't know that, and then you recently started your own company. Uh, she leads international, which is amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you. I have
Uh,
just had an interview yesterday. Yeah, I'm doing it once a month, but I really, really hope it will be getting more attention. But the time is a problem.
Yeah, no, as a podcaster myself, yes, being able to stay on top of
Mhm.
things, trends, changing algorithms, it's a lot of work. And yeah, and once it grows, you'll be able to have somebody to help you navigate that landscape. Uh,
Mhm.
but talking about She Leads International, what inspired you to create it, and what gap did you see that wasn't being addressed with your company?
Sure, absolutely fantastic question. Happy to answer to this. Um, it's pretty logical what happened. Over 10 years, I've just observed and realized that there was serious no balance in the conferences when it comes to data management
Mm,
topics. There were like in the first 2 3 editions of a Think Lab, I still remember like most of the people were coming just males, you know. So and there were like 2 3 women only coming to the conference. It doesn't mean that there was no women, but they felt not comfortable to come to the conference where there are like the rest of the people are men. It's just normal, you know. It's just in a kind of a biological way, you know, that you don't feel comfortable. I completely understand them. I would feel the same, you know. So what I tried to do is that I wanted to make sure and push women to actually come to our event as attendees, and then I realized that I have to put it and into a different level. So I needed to push them to actually speak at the event, you know, so as well. And afterwards, I noticed that so it is happening finally. There is like a 50-50 kind of a balance, which is absolutely fantastic, and that's where actually also the data issues started to solve even better, because obviously, like I was saying to you about the thinking out of box is also depending on where you're coming from culturally and everything, you know. So obviously if you putting together the people that are cross industry, different culture, and males and females in the same room. It's going to be absolutely more interesting to hear how people solve the problems. And then afterwards, I felt like, why not to get into this topic? And I felt like women in data was one of the topics also at our data management marathon online. And we wanted to talk about their stories and encourage, to be honest, women to be there in the data space, not be silent and more like appear, as well. So it's nothing feministic, to be honest. It's more of an inspirational group where I would like them just to speak, because again, like we talked yesterday exactly with one of the ladies from the data experts, and we realized, and we agreed absolutely on this point, that women need a push, like we need to feel like with the we're worth something, we because men in general, we don't need that. We anyway believe in themselves just on where it just works like this biologically. You feel that you can make it, while woman needs absolute push from somebody, like and say, but you can do it. Again, I can tell it from my experience of all the women that I've met. They all need that. So that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to give this inspiration to them, so to be there.
No, that's a great initiative, and I have people that I've come to the podcast. They were not ready, but me encouraging them, saying that their ideas were solid, and and they were able to express themselves confidently and normally because they felt validated. So yeah, it's being a host, but also being a coach, being a mentor. I think that goes a long way for people to participate, not just women, but everyone in general.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a conversation with a colleague that we had an argument that men like things and females prefer relationships with people in general. So I guess the field can evolve to become more in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. True.
And what barriers still exist for women in data leadership, especially in Europe?
Can you come again? Sorry.
So, are there still barriers that exist for women in data leadership in Europe?
In Europe or globally? I mean, I can absolutely tell you.
In
uh,
Europe,
in Europe, okay. So in the US, it's different problem.
uh, I'll say that we're at the point where women have more opportunities than ever before. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I guess I never lived in Europe, so I don't know much about that uh, geographical differences. Maybe you can
Sure.
tell us from your perspective.
Why I asked you is that I'm coming from the from Russia, so I was born in there, like next to the Finland, in the small city Viborg. When I moved to Czech Republic when I was 17 years old, I was saying I'm moving to Europe.
Mm,
After living 15 years in Europe, not only in Czech Republic but also in Italy, I cannot call Europe like all together, because it's all different countries, and I believe that what you're asking is a bit different from each country, because I feel like that the Scandinavian countries are even in a way more advanced than maybe in US, I would say, because their rights are for women and much more stronger, in
mm,
absolutely everything, not only work-wise but personal life, absolutely. Germany is the same thing, while there are conservative European countries like Poland, Czech Republic, and so on. So honestly, Europe would be difficult to distinguish as a one single thing, like, so I think that in general, I think we are getting there, and I believe that in some countries, because the conservative way is way like how we like to live, I don't think that it will be changing, because I don't think women want to change this, so we're happy about it, in some circumstances and in some countries, the process is getting faster because women push it to do it, so that is why I want to say that it's honestly depend on each country how it goes.
mhm.
So I feel like in some countries, like to answer your question, it's the same way how in the data leadership works in pretty much in the US, and in some countries it's not yet at all, in there. And I think it is going to take a bit more time to change it, to have a full rights. Honestly, if you think about it, in women in general received their rights way like short time passed from this moment. But even in this short time, it's great where I am. And I can tell you, just like really personally, I'm super happy that I was born at the year with at the year at this stage of my life, because I wouldn't want to to be born like 200 years ago and be a woman.
Yes, different time, different yeah, wars, pillage, all that things that happen. But yeah, we are born at a time where it's good to be alive, good health, things that we take for granted are easily given to us. So that, I agree with you. I would love to speak more about you and you do also do art, uh,
Hmm.
former watercolorist and oil painter,
Right.
fashion, insurance, pharma. But I guess we could save that for the next event, for the next Orlando podcast interview. But what is coming up for 2026 for the 13th Data Management Think Lab in Prague? So I guess you can give us a sneak peek or anything to expect for that event.
Yeah, sure, I can. But beforehand, I want to show you like my last watercolor.
Oh, nice.
Yes, that's my
Oh, wow. Simba Rafiki. That's my
yeah.
favorite.
This is something I have done. Like I'm doing like some sort of a collection of. I don't know if it's visible. Is it visible? I think
Oh,
it is.
yeah, it is beautiful.
Yeah, so it's like this, and it's a watercolor. It's true what you said about the. I just want to talk about beyond the data. I do like the podcast when it's also a little bit personal touch.
Yeah.
So yeah, and actually it's also connected in the way data. I am getting super calm when I paint, and I also come up with some ideas when I'm painting. So it's a very important part of my life. Yeah, so the collection that I'm building is actually will be consisting of 6 paintings.
Mhm.
So like the whole Hakuna Matata the collection.
Oh,
Yes.
that's funny.
Yeah, so some of them will be with the Timon and Pumbaa, so Mufasa, yeah, so the Rafiki, like you say, the Simba, and a couple of more. And the bird. I forgot the bird. What's the name of the bird?
Yeah.
Mm, you know, yeah, that one. Yes. So yeah, so the basically I will continue to paint with a watercolor and with data in in our next events, and just hope that the community will grow faster and bigger, in the global scale. So the next events will be always having new trends that are important for data people. We do it twice a year. So there is autumn and spring edition in Prague. So whoever is watching, listening to a podcast, happy to connect with you, you can absolutely connect with me on LinkedIn. I hope that we will put some links right
Oh,
later
of
on.
course.
Mm.
Yeah, you should. I would love a painting of yours. When I saw it, I'm like, wow. I have embarrassing. I bought a Han Solo handwritten art.
Mhm.
I would love a copy or original of any art that you'd produce in the future.
Okay, so happy to obviously. I do. I did add that the watercolor and the oil painter and artist on LinkedIn, because I did want to have a little bit also of that, because I do sell sometimes. I not It's not absolutely even close to a business. It's just something that I do additional
Mm.
here in the Czech Republic. Whoever wants to, we can absolutely ask me and yeah, order something. But I don't have time to create a website for this, to be honest. It's just no way. Not now, but I think eventually when I will have a bit more time, I will put something together.
Yeah, you have a ThinkLinkers project director, your own company, and your salon, and then you have your hobby. So I think you have the best of all worlds. Uh,
Yes, it's true. We didn't talk about the beauty studio, which is also literally holding me in the spot here in Prague, Czech Republic. And I do like to travel, and it's really difficult sometimes to actually go somewhere for longer than 2 weeks, because that's the time when my clients would just kill me if I would go
Oh,
further
oh yeah,
away.
that's right. You travel. Where did you go?
The last time I was, and then just came back from Latvia, Riga.
Mhm.
It was absolutely fantastic experience. It was minus 25, snowing, cold, but absolutely great because it's something closer to my culture. Because, like I said, that I was just born next to Finland, so I know exactly how it feels when it's minus 25 with wind. And yes, maybe most of the people say like, "How can you like that?" Well, it's something that I was growing for 17 years, and I really missed it and I liked it. And there is a absolutely amazing people. The food is also great. There is fish, so it's great. So in Czech Republic, we don't have any water surrounded, except the river. We don't have any fish here, so I really miss it. So I can tell.
And also, and I think the why you love it is because your background is Russian. So
Yeah. Yes, so it's important, by the way. Like I think it's super important to say that yes, I'm like coming from Russia, but I lived in different places, and I actually travel also for the reason to learn more the different cultures, to try their food, to try their like other things that they do, and it's also like eye-opening experience. So I'm becoming like something just bigger, just one single kind of a at nationality, inside of me. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to
oh
say.
yeah, no, of course. Uh, when is your next uh, travel destination? Oh,
Good question. I will be going for a conference in March, actually, in Düsseldorf. Um, yeah, I will probably see some of the clients that I didn't manage to see for some time already. So that's, and then I will be away for actually a long vacation of 2 weeks in Asia, in Thailand. I would like to see my family. We are coming in there, so we would like to meet all together.
oh, that's nice. I'll be in Germany, Munich in August. Maybe we could plan
Mhm.
some time there in the future.
Yeah, will definitely ping me when you are in Europe, and we will absolutely take it from there.
Well, Natalia, thank you so much for being part of the Orlando Insights podcast. We would love to have you back and talk about the future of data management as well as where you're traveling next. So,
Yes.
and where can they find you if they want to have more information about ThinkLinkers, your company,
Yeah,
and yeah.
yeah, for sure. Like, and it would be fantastic if you can put something like in the description about the website. Think linkers are honestly we are linking the minds, so that is where it coming our name. So it's thinklinkers.com, or you just go to a link to LinkedIn and find me. It's Natalia Kotova, and yeah, I will be happy to connect with you. And if you
And
have any questions, happy to talk
and
to
when does your podcast air episodes of She International?
you. Well, like we have the once a month,
Mhm.
so it's like 9 editions that I already did, and
Mhm.
now you can find it in either on my LinkedIn or in our website. We also started to publish it, and eventually I will also create a YouTube channel like you did, and put it as well. Yeah. So again, we need a bit of more time, but anyways, everything can be found probably on LinkedIn is the best way because honestly, like I said, it's my second home. Everything is can be found there.
We'll add it to the description where they can find it. And
Yeah.
thank you so much, Natalia. So this wraps up today's episode of Orlando Insights Podcast. To see more episodes like this with Natalia, please visit our YouTube and Spotify at orlandoinsightgroup.com. And you have a good night. Bye.
Bye.